Morning. It's Tuesday morning. I had Monday off because the missus was on a hen do. And it's 11:10 and I haven't done anything yet because power steering went on the van this morning and Halford's isn't open at 3:30, so I had to struggle as far as I could struggle, then I had to stop. And then I found a Halford's, got some power steering fluid, sort of fixed it, but when I got here this morning it was still making quite a lot of noise. Anyway, you don't want to listen to my drivel, have a look at this. So this is the panel we've been blessed with this morning. What you got, your gland plate up there, they're not big, that's a 4-core 50, possibly a 4-core 70, and they're 5 cores again, 5-core 25 or something, or 16s. So I can't really, where they drop would be lovely to just let them drop straight in, but I can't really because then I'm in front of all of those switches, right away in front of them. So then the next person that comes to take the switch off, my cables are going to be there, so it's going to make it awkward for them. So what I'll have to do is, see there, look, to there. I've got that's basically the gland plate. That is for emergency use only, really. But let's just see if you can see this. I'm kneeling at the front of the panel now, and that is complete arm's length. So imagine with this thing on, I've got to get 4 cores in there, and I've got to then, I can't do anything, this has got to come off, then that's got to be slotted and then slid over the cables and put, what? And then the 5 cores have got an earth which goes up there. So this is going to be fun. I don't understand this. I really don't. Why I've got to work at arm's length, and then I've got to find a way of slotting this. Does that come off? Yeah, I think that comes. I have to unscrew these. Two bolts there, 2 bolts there. Unscrew that. Undo these poppers. Slide that over the. Oh God. I love it when people think about things. So there we go, that's Tuesday morning. See how far we get on. So I've got 4-core 70, 5-core 25, 5-core 25, 5-core 16, and the earth. I've just got the holes drilled for 1, 2, 3 70 mils, and their earth. The earth's for them. And then that'll be me for tonight, because it is now 3:15. So I've got them, and they're not terminated, by the way, they're just in. I want to drop those in. Hopefully I should have enough room up the top, I hope, fingers crossed, and that'll be today done. Right, I'm hoping to get this up and in without having to leave these steps. Fingers crossed. Right, remember, I don't know, a couple of videos ago, funnily enough it's on the other side of this wall, there was a cable, 4-core 70mm, it was really short, went at bottom entry of the panel, and basically there was about that much of the green tape past the switch. Well, that one I've just put in is the other end of that cable. Now watch this. So that's it there, right? That is the switch it goes to. So from this to the terminations which are there is 500mm. So I've got to come down there and then like loop them round and in. And I've measured 2 meters from the gland to getting on the terms, right? Cable just touches the floor. So you think, there you are, there's the bottom of the panel. That's it. And I cut the green tape off that. So what I said about having a good cable gang, being able to like measure them more or less exactly, because the cable was, well, short. If you, in effect, you should have had 2 meters or a meter at each end. So if you get a good cable gang, it's worth keeping hold of one. It was a lad called Gino. He's been doing it longer than I've been alive, I think. But he's good. He is good. It just shows you there. It just shows you how good. Right. Question. I'm originally from a town called Hartlepool, right? So we get called Hartlepoolians, same as Liverpudlians. And then you've got people from Glasgow called Glaswegians, people from Liverpool, people from London, Londoners. Like, what town are you from, and what is your reference, like your population reference? Because there's some lads on this job from Bristol, Bristolians, but then the next city is Bath. What are they called? Bathers? What are people from Bath called? Also, I thought, Norwich. What are people from Norwich called? There's nothing goes with it. So if you are from Norwich or you're from Bath, like, let me know, because I'm sort of intrigued to know now as what you called. Anyway, that's just me again, on my own, thinking. I suppose this will get me some useful information, I suppose, rather than just stupidity. The little camera stand's had an accident. That's the little swivelly bit that goes in there to allow you to rotate it and move it round. And it snapped, well, the thread snapped. So I've got a 6mm bolt, wrapped it in tape and pushed it in there. The thread doesn't go all the way through, but it's sort of facilitated holding the camera in one place. So looks like I've got another one of those. It's all this heavy duty work, see. But David Attenborough doesn't have to go through this when he's pouncing about in the jungle or in the desert. Right, that's me done for the day. 3. Oh, you can't. Yeah, you can. 3 4-core 70s. One comes from a different direction, and then what was there? 70, 2 5-core 25s, and a 5-core 16. They're only glanded, and they asked to go with them if they've got them. So I'm gonna, tomorrow is termination day. I'll fire some terminations, and it shouldn't take long, hopefully, fingers crossed. And then I've got that one there. It needs to go, see, it's that one out the back there, and it goes up in there, and it needs to come through, I reckon, that one there. So it can drop, is it that one? Actually, I know I might get away with that now, because I'm going to change it. I'm going to bring it into this side of the panel as opposed to that side of the panel. And I've got all those little ones to do, and there's some 70s in there, so there is some money in there. And then hopefully those two 4-core 120s, which, let's go around here, only go there. So that's them over there, and they go there. So they're not, you know, they're not that long. So I can lift them, get a measure on them, lift them up, but I don't know, what is it? 750 or something, if that. So I can lift them up, drop them in, they should be relatively straightforward. And then hopefully I can make more mess. So there we go. Look at that, and doesn't that do you nothing? The gap, the way they drop in. And that one, look. Those two drop in nice, and then that one, because it's coming from a different direction, looks all cagola. Never mind, I'll get round it. Right, I'm going to go get some tea, but before I do that, I'm going to go for a poo, because I haven't had one all day. Man, I've had nothing to eat, so I suppose that offsets the need to go, doesn't it? You know what I mean? So I'm going to do that, go and get some tea, and I'm going to go to the gym tonight, because I didn't go to the gym all last week or over the weekend. So, big fat belly. Oh, by the way, new trousers. Zip's still down, like, but the zip actually does work on these ones. So yeah, look, pocket situated where it should be situated. Screw fix on Saturday, so I'm not like exposing myself anymore. And there's no holes in the arse and there's no holes in my knees. There will be soon, but there isn't at the minute. Right, what I've got to do now is all of this. I have to find out where it lives. So fortunately, inside the panel at the back, they've got the labels on. I hope that they've dropped through the right rung. This one goes in there, so I know that one because I worked that one out yesterday. But there's 12 cables there, and they all need to go somewhere, either this one I think, or possibly the next one. So I'll have to sit and go through that now, and then I can get some order of how I'm gonna sort my life out today. So let's have a look. Nice one. So that one, happy days, goes in the right rung. What I'm actually going to do, see, now I know that goes like there. So now that can be cut down, see, and then I haven't got, I don't know, 15 metres of cable just laid on the floor getting in everyone's way. So I'm going to cut that now. I say everyone's way, I mean my way. it. 7 in there, there's 5 here, and then what I've got, there's 2 70mm there which are UPS feeds, which go at the bottom, so that is that panel complete. That's all of the cables. So the other ones that drop either go to the next panel or the next panel over. So I'll just have to, I'll work that out in a minute. But now I know what size cables I've got, I can sort of plan the holes where I'm going to drill them, where I'm going to drill them. Because that one is going to come on this side of the panel, and the ones here are going to drop and go down that side. So I'll get on with that now. Also, just in case you haven't gathered, see these things? Absolutely detest them. The more problem than the worse. You don't get paid, look, you don't get paid anything for them, really. They take up space on gland plates, they make cableways look ugly. It's just garbage, just awful, awful things. So yeah, design people, design something better. I've just ran upon a little snag. Basically, that one there, when I show you how I'm going to set them out, see the small cable runs around there? That big one, well, big one, 70mm, bigger one, needs to come through that gap. So it needs to go over the top of the cable and down. Otherwise, the bend radius sort of won't look the same. So I'm gonna have to pull that up. Bugger. Because that's how I want to set the glands out. So I've got the 3 big ones, 3 70mm to the left, and then there's a 5-core 25 at the top. In the middle is a 5-core 10, and then at this nearest to me is another 5-core 25. They've got earths with them, some of them, so the 70mm definitely have. So they've got to incorporate the earths within them somewhere, which is easy because it's only a 20mm, so it will go there. Or, you know. So there's plenty of room for that. And then I've got a 70mm going in this side, that one there. So I've got that one to put in as well. But I'm going to have to pull this. What I'm going to have to do is those, so there's 70mm and there's 2 4-core 120s, they're going to have to be pulled up in order to allow me to pull this cable, just hiding behind that one there, look, that one, It's going to have to go in that direction underneath them, but I can't move it as of yet. Farts and everything else. So we'll have a look at that. There's some holes in my panel, dear Liza, dear Liza. Right then, what I'm doing now is this cable, right? So it's a 32mm gland, 5 core 25, but if you can see those two, the 70s, so they're going to come down eventually, right? And they're going to drop into those two there. Now I need that underneath them. So I've got the chain block set up. It's round the two 70mm cables, and I'm just going to ratchet them out. I don't need to go very high. I'm just going to ratchet them up enough to get that cable underneath and possibly slide this one across so they drop in, you know, bum 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 type of thing. So I'm just going to do that now. There we go. Might not look much, but that's the two cables I was after. They're up out the way now. So that one, which is going in, can slide right underneath, ready to bend down and drop into there. So what I'm saying is, it's handy to have these little things available. The ratchet straps. I've just pulled that one straight because I had to bend it all the way out there, and it distorted the bend here. So what was happening was that was coming out like that and then back in on it, like, and the gland was on an angle like that. So put the ratchet strap on, put it up to there, ratcheted it up, straightened the cable out, dropped in lovely. You couldn't have really done that by hand because, you know, you haven't got the the power to be able to hold it in position enough for long enough to be able to straighten it. They're just handy little things. That's brilliant. That pulls 1/4 of a ton. That. I'm quite impressed with that. So, right, I'm going to get on and get these done. What time we got? 10 to 11. It was a late start today. I didn't think I started at 9 o'clock or thereabouts. So I'll see how I get on. Right then, what we got? Six cables done this morning, plus 3/8. 370s. I can't even remember what they were. 5 core 25, 5 core 16, 5 core 25, and another 70. So 7. I was lying. So what's that? 7, 10, 14. So I need to start getting some cables terminated now, because the longer you leave the cables unterminated, the more messy it gets, and then you forget. So I'm going to drop down now onto the floor. What time we got? 1:25 past. So I'm going to start in this one now, because this is where I finished off. And what I'm going to do is the terminations. There's me. Look, the terminations are on that side there in that line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to notch there next to the steel. I'm going to notch that out like that, and then I have to take this whole box off in order to reach on each one. So every one of them's got to come off. Reach in, terminate the cables, and then I'm going to just put, these are like serrated push fit things, but the serrated push fit things, but they've got another bolt on either side, so I've got to take those bolts off. So essentially I've got to dismantle the full thing. It's just not very well designed, but this is what we've got. So I want to set away with them now and try and get some installated today. So I'll catch up with you in a bit and let you know how I'm getting on. And there's one cable way done. I'm standing back so you can't see it, because it's bloody awful. I hate cable ways. What was that? 6, 7 glanded and terminated. I'm going to move on to those 3 now. The 370s, 4 o'clock it is. And then if I've got time, I don't think I'll have time, but if I have, I'll drop onto them. So the aim is to get those terminated tomorrow, those terminated tonight, that finished tomorrow, and then basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump onto those 120s, drop them in. I think they go in there, in that one. I'm not 100%. Get onto them, and then get onto the other side, over there, over yonder, in the back, and do them as well, so I get them finished, and then I can move on to the smaller ones next week when I come back, and I think that'll be this job finished then. I reckon anyway. I've had a good run at it. I'll have to get on the phone and see where they're sending me next. Thursday morning, going home day. Yes. So, I got stuff done last night, you saw that. But coming this morning, it is chilly. I don't know about where you're working. So, I thought, and then I remembered, because the panels and the cables are more important than people, they've put this in the switch room. Nice toasty warm heater. It's garbage like, but I've got that blowing on me, so it is cold, but at least I've got a little bit of heat, whereas nobody else has, and everywhere else is just freezing. So at least I've got that. I haven't got a clue where those earths go though, and quite frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. So I've got this piddly little cable, I think that's a 16mm, and I've got a 25, a 25, and that's a 70. So there's 4 cables to do in here plus 1 earth. And then I'm on to this panel. So what I'm going to do, there's two 120s up the top and a 70. And the rest of them are smaller. I think there's 4 smaller ones. So the 4 smaller ones I'm going to bring in this side to sort of mirror, to continue the mirror of that bend like that, so they look sort of the same. And then those ones, they're just going to go where they fit really, because obviously the size of them, you can't really be too choosy, to be honest. So if I can get those glanded, and then that's that. I don't know whether I'll terminate them all, but that's that panel sort of finished. What I'm hoping they're going to do is those boxes are just, well, quite frankly, surplus to requirements, because I don't see why they couldn't just put a piece of perspex across that hole, drill the holes in it, and you can slide the piece of perspex on. Why you've got to mess about with this whole box affair, I don't know. So I've took them off. You can see through there. I've took them off on the understanding that I'm just going to say to them, look, just put a bit of perspex across. There's no reason why you need that whole box issue on there. So I'm hoping that they say yeah, because then I don't have to replace all the boxes, and it's easier to put a piece of perspex on than it is to fart about doing all of this nonsense. Anyway, must press on. Talking doesn't make food go on the table, does it? So I'll catch up with you later on during the day. Right, there's been a slight change of plan. Now that I've inspected it with my inspecting eyes, I'm going to bring the 2 120s and the 70mm down this side, and then the little ones flow over to that side. Reason being is because you might not be able to see it, but beyond, if you look beyond the cables, there's a, what's it called, a support, and there's a support just in there, hang on, there, in that gap there. So I can lose those 120s up and into that gap. If I try and put them here, what I'm doing is I'm going to have to lift the cables up back that way, because of the angle that the cables want to move in. So it's just like a little observation really. They still would have went, the cables would have went in, it wouldn't have been an issue. But this way, I think, if I bring them in there, it makes it easier to move them back that way and then bring them back in. There's less of a fart about, I think. And that's just what, just sitting looking at it, going, oh yeah, that might work differently, rather than just jumping in and going, right, I'm going to get these cables in, and that's when you run up against problems. Like, a few people have asked me, a lot of people on YouTube and on Instagram comment on YouTube and message me on Instagram saying, like, about becoming a cable jointer and how do I become a cable jointer, can I be a cable jointer from a spark, is there a course you can do, and But what I say to them is, get experience. Like that there, right? Nothing really, not a great thing. You'd have still got the job done. But now I've been up and looked at it, that, I think, is going to be a hell of a lot easier. But if you haven't got the experience to know that, and you just jump in and go, right, and then you go, oh, I wish I hadn't have done that. So having the experience to look and know how the cables are going to move and how they're going to bend and where they're going to bend and where they're not going to bend, that's a key factor. So for all those people who are asking, get some experience. 2 or 3 years, not just like 6 months, 2 or 3 years of bigger cables, all the way up to 240s, 300s if you can, 400s even, although they shouldn't make 400s and 400 4-cores and 300 4-cores anyway, because they're too big. These stupid cables they are. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. So, if you wanted to know, now you do. If you didn't, I'm sorry I bored the tits off you. So what I was doing there was just over forming the bends. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the ratchet straps involved, and I want to pull them back in that direction to get them, because basically I want to be hitting about, where am I at? About there, which, let's face it, isn't too far from where they're falling anyway, so it should work out pretty good. And then I'm going to bring that 70mm round as well, and the earths. So yeah, that's the next shot. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do those. I'm going to gland and terminate those so I can book them in this week, see? And I'll leave the little ones for next week. And I want to try and get those 2 over there done. I might not get them done. I might. We'll see. But I think I'm going to leave the little ones for next week. So I shall update you. There's a place you can go, I said, when you're short on your dough. Idiot! Glands on. So this is sort of a training program for those two. Because if this one's easy, then there's every chance that those two are going to be not difficult. Trouble is, they're the longest ones, so they've got to go right to the bottom, so they'll have to have the most of the tails on them. But I'm going to try and get this 70 up and in now, and see what sort of trials and tribulations I have with it, and then I'll know if the 120s are going to be a cow dog. So we'll have to see. Well, that was an absolute dream. I didn't even get off the steps. Obviously the 120s aren't going to be that easy, but there is plenty of room. Oh, that was nice, that. I enjoyed that. I think it took me literally 4 minutes, from not even that, to lift it up, bend it, and drop it back in. That was super duper. Right, see what these big buggers do now.